It's been half a decade since I started my career, and looking back, I now realize how important my college degree was in getting me to where I am today. College is more expensive now than ever, and with tuition debt and inflation rising, picking a major that doesn't align with your life goals can cost you tens of thousands of dollars in years of your life. Whether you want to work in healthcare, business, or any other related field, I'm going to break down the degrees that are the most worth it from an investment perspective within common career paths that successful people end up pursuing after college. The first career path we'll talk about is the business path. If you want to work as an investment banker, management consultant, financial analyst, accountant, or any other business-related job, this is where you will typically want to be. These are high-paced corporate careers. If you've ever played Cyberpunk and chosen the corporate path, that is exactly what this is going to feel like on a day-to-day basis. You'll often work in large firms, startups, or banks, and almost all of the jobs in this path can pay into the six figures within a few years if you're in the right role. Some of these can actually get you into the seven figures, and if you're curious which ones, just watch this video right here. To break in, the only degrees I recommend getting into are finance, accounting, or economics, and that is it. Do not get one of those generalized majors like business administration, international business, or anything similar to those two because they don't hold nearly as much weight as the three core ones that I'm suggesting. That advice will actually apply to all of the paths that we'll talk about. Your goal in college should be to make yourself as marketable to a specific set of roles that you are interested in. If you go too generalized, you're telling employers that you don't really know what you want to do, which just makes you look less attractive as a candidate, especially in a competitive market like today. Now that you understand that, let's quickly break down those three degrees. Finance is a great launch pad for roles in banking, wealth management, and any other corporate role like FP&A or treasury. Accounting is essential if you're targeting audit, tax, or any of the big four companies like Deloitte or EY. In most cases, accounting jobs will be more stable, but have slower growth than finance. Economics gives you a great, well-rounded understanding of the broader market and stands out as a unique perspective for roles that are more in the realm of market analysts or pricing analysts as some examples of what you can look for. If you really want to be in pure finance roles though, I would just stick to a finance degree. Overall, these three degrees will give you a really great return on your investment and get you into jobs that will further develop your understanding of business as a whole that no other path will be able to do. The second career path, and one of the most popular ones today, is the engineering path. We're going to break it down into two separate sides, traditional engineering and computer science, because they lead to totally different careers. All right, so starting out with traditional engineering. If you're someone who loves building things, solving for technical problems, and wants a job with long-term demand, this is a very solid route. The only degrees that I recommend here are mechanical, civil, electrical, and chemical engineering. Let's break those down really quickly. Mechanical engineering is if you're into cars, planes, defense, tech, and the stereotypical engineering experience. It's versatile, pays well, and touches almost every single industry. Civil engineering is for people who want to design and manage infrastructure. Think roads, bridges, and buildings. Now, electrical engineering is for those who love figuring out how computers, power systems, and electronics work. It's really rigorous and sets you up for work in things like robotics, defense, and hardware. Lastly, chemical engineering is for the brave. If you genuinely enjoyed advanced chemistry, math, and physics in high school and wanted to roll it into one degree that leads to lucrative jobs in energy, biotech, or manufacturing, chemical engineering would be the go-to one. All four of these degrees are respected and open doors across industries with starting pays between $70,000 to $90,000. They're tough, but the payoff is really clear, and employers know you've been through one of the hardest undergrad majors if you go into engineering. Now, I do want to say, similarly to the business path, where I recommend not going for overly generalized majors, the same can be said for very specific niche ones. Aerospace, agricultural, and petroleum engineering degrees sound really cool, but they're so specialized that they usually will end up limiting your job options. You'll have way better flexibility and market value sticking with the big four degrees, and you can still work in those niche industries if you so choose to do so. Now let's talk about computer science. If your dream is to work at a tech company, build software, dive into AI, or develop apps, this is the no-brainer choice. CS grads can still earn $90,000 to $120,000 starting out at most reputable companies, even if there are many articles out there claiming that AI is going to take over all of the remaining computer science related jobs. But if you're one of the ambitious few who breaks into a top tech firm, think Google, Meta, it's not uncommon to see starting pay between the $150K to $200K, including bonuses and equity. CS degrees are in high demand right now, but unfortunately, it's not enough to just take classes like the prior paths. You need to build real-world projects and stay up to date on tools and frameworks to be a competitive candidate. Still, if you do it right, CS is one of the most lucrative and flexible degrees you can get. Just make sure you understand that getting a software engineering role or something similar will require a lot of preparation throughout undergrad. The third career path we'll cover is healthcare. And I want to be honest, this is a path that I would not recommend considering unless you have a genuine interest in working with patients or being in high-pressure clinical environments. These roles are emotionally taxing and sometimes thankless, but they offer unmatched job security, purpose, and long-term upside. The two areas that I recommend looking into which are really worth it are either becoming a registered nurse or a physician assistant. Alright, so let's start with nursing. The most direct degree for nursing is a Bachelor of Science in Nursing, and this gets you licensed as an RN, and starting pay is typically around $70,000. For the rare few who push into the top of the field, there are very high-paying roles like Certified Registered Nurse Anesthesiist, I know that's a tongue twister, who earn upwards of $200,000 a year or more. These roles take additional schooling and experience, but the payoff is real. You can actually reach six figures in just a few years within nursing, and demand for skilled nurses has been growing a lot. On the other hand, there's the physician assistant route. To start off, PA programs don't require a specific degree, but I strongly recommend either biology, biomedical sciences, or chemistry. These degrees will set you up for PA school since they contain the prerequisite courses, but they also let you keep your options open. If you later decide that you want to go into med school or work in research or enter biotech, you'll have a stronger foundation than a lot of other majors who are pursuing PA school. Once you get additional healthcare experience though, then you can go into a master's level PA program right after graduating, and you'll have a starting salary from the low 100Ks and scale up from there. The fourth career path we'll cover is one of the most underrated, and that is the trades path. If you want to get into the workforce quickly, avoid massive student debt, and build a career with real-world skills, this is where it's at. Jobs like electricians, plumbers, HVAC technicians, and welders all fall under this path. These roles require specialized training, usually through trade schools, certifications, and apprenticeships that take anywhere from around 1 to 2 years. With that being said, I still do recommend at least considering a 2-year associate's degree in construction management or a related trade field. Now, starting salaries generally range from around $50,000 to $70,000, and with experience, you can easily make it to the six figures. Most trade jobs also tend to be recession resistant and can't be outsourced or automated easily, so demand is really strong and always steady. It's physically demanding work, which creates its own list of concerns to consider, but if you want financial freedom with less schooling and debt, then this path definitely deserves more attention. The final path that we'll talk about is the STEM path, and the funny thing is that this is actually where I started my college journey originally. This includes majors like mathematics, statistics, and physics, degrees that are known for the level of intensity in academics that they bring. Because these majors are so tough, they signal to employers in grad programs that you have strong analytical and problem-solving skills, making you a really standout candidate in a lot of competitive fields. With one of these degrees, you can go down the path of academic research or become a university professor in the long run, which can pay really well at the top level. I'm talking over $200,000 for professors at elite institutions. But more commonly, these degrees make you a standout for roles in quant hedge funds, data science, investment banking, or even management consulting in comparison to traditional business majors. So if you want a degree that's not only versatile, but also commands a lot of respect in the job market, then any of these three are excellent long-term investments. So which of all of these college degrees is the most worth it? Well, I personally went with the business path, so that should speak for itself. But let me know in the comments down below if you feel any differently about which of these majors is the most worth it overall. An important thing to keep in mind is that we've only talked through what's worth it from a financial perspective. While the return on your investment for a degree is incredibly important, especially when it comes to my channel's focus on financial freedom, there's a lot more that brings value to a career or a degree than just the monetary incentive that it has. Money is definitely not everything, but if you mainly care about how much you can earn, then check out this video right here where I'll walk through how some of these degrees can help you earn nearly $500,000 a year and how fast you can actually get there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, until next time, talk soon.